Hey folks, in this video I'm going to talk about why I bought a Prius. I'm in my 2013 Prius Series 4 right now, and I'm just about at 6 months of ownership. I'm probably going to be doing another video just reviewing the car, but in this video I just wanted to talk about basically why I bought a Prius. And basically for me, it really comes down to the fact that I like technology. I hate the oil companies. I do like motorsports, but as much as I like motorsports and stuff like that, I hate the oil companies equally as much. Also, my last two cars were cars that required premium fuel, and I got real tired of having to put in premium fuel all the time. And I also wanted something that was a little bit more adult. My last two cars were definitely sporty cars, but they weren't very adult. And what I mean by adult is they were only two-door cars, so if I wanted to go out with friends or something and drive, it would be a pain in the butt for them to get in and out of the back. And also they weren't real comfortable. They were quite sporty and pretty fast and stuff like that, but they just weren't real comfortable in terms of just cruising around and stuff. This car is pretty much fully loaded as far as I'm concerned. It's got the soft tech leather seats, it's got the solar sunroof, and it's just a real comfortable car. Another thing about the Prius that's sort of interesting is, a lot of Hollywood stars and stuff drive the Prius. So I feel like with this car, I can really fit in pretty much anywhere. I can go to a car show, and people with Porsches and Ferraris and stuff like that still appreciate this car. I can go to a nice fancy hotel, and the valet parker, I can be among, Mercedes and Lexus and all that, and this car just fits in really well, I think, with pretty much, other cars. But yeah, so basically my last two cars, I had a Volkswagen VR6 Corrado before, and then after that I had a Honda Civic Si, and both of those took premium gas. And now I really like the fact that I can just pass up gas stations. I don't have to get gas hardly ever, which is really cool. In fact, I've had this car 6 months, and I've only spent maybe about $130 so far on gas. And I've only filled up maybe I think 6 times total, 6 or 7 times. But yeah, I've basically always been interested in hybrids, and so this is kind of my excuse to get one when it came time to get a new car. For the price, I think it's a pretty good car. And I've always just been into being kind of smart and stuff with purchases. Like, I don't finance, I don't take out loans a lot. I don't like to be in debt. And yeah, I could have afforded a more expensive car. But like I said, this car can pretty much roll with the punches with more expensive cars. I was looking at all these different cars, and when it really came down to it, the Prius just made a lot of sense for me. I'm not a total an environmentalist or anything, but I do like to be green. Don't get me wrong. I think we all need to be responsible for our environment. But on a purely sort of monetary or personal level, I don't have to be supporting the big oil companies as much. I don't have to be filling my car up so much with gas all the time, which is, really a plus for me. A lot of people think the Prius is really slow and stuff, but actually it's not. It's quite fast, especially in power mode. It's actually got 4 different driving modes. One is normal mode, and then it's got an EV mode, which is only using the hybrid battery and no gas, not the internal combustion engine, and you can go up to about maybe 30-35 miles an hour on that. And then it's also got an eco mode, which is going to make the gas pedal not as sensitive, so you get smoother starts and stuff like that. But it's got a power mode also, which makes it perform super well. I mean, it's got plenty of power on power mode. People don't realize that. Because usually when you see a Prius on the road, they're driving for economy. They're trying to get the best mileage possible. And of course, in power mode, or when you drive it really fast and floor it, you're not getting, the best mileage. And part of the thing is the Prius displays what kind of mileage you're getting on the display, all the time. So anyway, sometimes people will try to race me on the freeway or whatever, and I will oftentimes surprise them because it's a lot faster than they thought. But then also, if someone's in a big SUV or a truck is trying to give me trouble on the road, sometimes I'll often take out my wallet like this and I'll just wave it. And that kind of shuts them up, because there is no other response to that. The fact that I don't have to get gas nearly as much as that person does, and I don't have to spend nearly as much money on gas. than that person does. You know, what can they say to that? You know, I mean, nobody likes to fill up their car with gas a lot. You know, nobody says, oh, I wish I could get worse mileage and put more gas in my car and spend a lot more money on gas. I mean, there's literally nobody who drives that says that. So anyway, that kind of shuts that argument closed pretty quick. Now, I do have to say, if I had to cite any negatives about this car, is stock. It doesn't handle real well. The steering and suspension is a bit floaty stock. But I actually got the package that they call the Prius Plus package, which includes larger 17-inch alloy rims, lowering springs that are also stiffer and handle better, as well as a rear anti-sway bar. Now, also part of that package is some ground effects to make the car even lower, or appear even lower. I opted not to get the ground effects because I thought, for me, it just looked better without it. Like, you know, that's more of a bolt-on kit, and it just sort of looked cleaner without it, in my opinion. So I got everything but the ground effects kit, and I gotta tell you, that makes the car handle so much better. It's like a whole nother car. You know, in my family, I've got BMW 3 Series, and, you know, in members of my family, and also Lexus IS. It handles almost like those. It handles really a lot better. So, you know, I'm very happy with the way it handles with those upgrades. So yeah, basically for me, what it really came down to is, it's just, for me, it made a lot of sense. The technology is there and available for you to get upwards of 50 miles a gallon, or with, you know, an all-electric car, an equivalent of 100 to 125 miles a gallon or higher. And basically, I just hate supporting the oil companies so much. I just think it's totally unnecessary. Certainly, my new Prius is not quite as sporty as my prior cars have been, but I can't honestly say that it's any less fun to drive. I mean, it's really fun getting the great mileage and passing up gas stations, whereas before I would have to actually stop in and fill in. And also, it's quite comfortable, and with the upgrades that I got, the car is definitely fun to drive. I mean, it handles quite well on the curves and stuff like that. But yeah, it's not going to be as fast as some kind of sports car or anything, but that's really not what it's meant to be. I mean, there is no such thing as a perfect car. Every car has negatives and positives. But I think I've got a real good balance here, because as I said, it is plenty fast, but at the same time, for me, it's quite fun to drive, and I get great gas mileage, as well as it being a very versatile car that sort of can fit in with any other cars, as I mentioned previously. So thanks for watching this video, and if you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear them. And please make sure you're subscribed, because I'll probably be doing a 6-month owner review of this car in the near future.